Hi everyone, this is Jilly Little Zen Crone. I'm going to try really hard to look over here at the camera and not over here where I really want to look to do this video so that I am actually looking at you. I want to do a June wrap up. I haven't done a wrap up, oh my gosh, well certainly not since I've been back to YouTube, but not in a long time. And it's not going to take forever because there's a lot to say, and I'll talk quickly, but not a whole lot to show, to be honest. My month started off with me being really sick. I got what I thought was a cold, and then, no, at first I thought it was allergies. Then I thought it was a cold. So this was now like going on 2 weeks, and then realized that I was not getting better and actually felt horrible. So I participated in Tarot-thon, and right after Tarot-thon, I think it was, I went to the doctor and found out I actually had bronchitis. So I was on a course of antibiotics and just had this cough that I could not get rid of. If you watched my previous videos, you'll be able to tell that. The last 2 days have been great. I haven't felt like I needed to cough hardly at all. So I think I have finally rounded the bend. Tarot-thon was huge. There was certainly some controversy surrounding it, but I think that we did a really good job to get 22 people who had a wide range of knowledge. I really enjoyed Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and her video kind of lagged for me, but oh my gosh, if you haven't checked her out, go check her out because she creates tarot decks and they're so cool. And you know, not somebody that had been on my radar before, but a really cool person. And she was in Tarot-thon. I mean, you know, there were lots of people. It was 22 hours. We had, of course, the whole YouTube shut down, that, you know, the crash of YouTube that happened, and we persevered and went on, and YouTube turned out great. And I know my video is here, and you can also go over to the Hermit's Cave and watch all of the videos, and I think they're actually in order. So that happened. And I have not really, and I missed this, I have not been like working with a deck this month. I am studying really diligently. I am to be ordained in October as a Zen priest, and so I'm really caught up in a lot of studying, a lot of practice in different areas. So I have not been spending the time with tarot that I used to. And I really, I'm just now getting back to doing daily pulls, and I haven't even been doing that daily, and excuse that sound. It's my ceiling fan that's pretty much right above you, and it just knocks sometimes, and I don't know why. I have been, so when you become a Zen priest, when someone becomes a Zen priest, one of the things that we do is we sew our own vestments. And so in some traditions, I know you actually sew your own robes, and I am thankful that I am able to purchase mine. But we do sew what is called a rakusu. It's R-A-K-U-S-U, and these are, almost, in the beginning, it almost looked like a patchwork quilt that you wear around your neck and over you when you're teaching. It's part of you wear it over your robe, or you can just wear it over your clothes. I then found out later on that it's actually not patched together. They're folds. There's kind of intricate folds. Oh, here, I'll show you the one that I'm making now. Let's see. There, you can see where I've pinned it. these are all like they're folds, so they're tucked in the back. And then these panels come together and they're hand sewn in the back. And then these panels all go together. And then you put a backing on and you sew the strap that goes around your neck. And your teacher writes your name on the back of it. The back of it is white cloth and it's soaked in soy milk. And that holds the ink from where they write your name. And I had to also make a black one. And it was difficult because it was black thread on black cloth. And I'm legally blind. So I won't show you that one. But this one's a little bit better because it's brown. So I've been working on that, and I'm hoping to have that done shortly. So anyway, that's why I have not been working on tarot like I usually do, and I really want to get back to it. But I did get some decks that I will show you. And I'm not going to go through these decks because I really feel like we've seen them. And I can't remember if this came the beginning of June or the end of May, but it's the Everyday Enchantment. There we go, the Everyday Enchantment. I love the book from this deck, and I love the artwork of the cards. And I think I have it in order because I want to show you just a couple of the cards. Oh, it's not in order. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, it could be. I might have put them in backwards. Hold that thought. Yes. Oh, thank the goddess. Okay. So I love these cards. I think maybe I'll read Wednesday Wisdom with them this coming week. This is one of my favorite magician cards. Taking an urban plot, taking nothing and making it something. I love that. I also, in this deck, love this Empress card because it looks like she's an auntie or a grandma. She's welcoming the children. She could be a daycare provider, welcoming these children. And then this is, as I am getting into my elder years, I really appreciate elders lovers cards. So this is one of my favorites. And, you know, many of you know this deck, but this is one that I really do want to work with and get to know more. All right. The next deck I received, what is the Radiant Wise? I'm not even going to take it out of the box. You guys all know what this looks like. It's the borderless. I love it. I've been shuffling and playing with it. And, oh, this is the one. Oh, this deck smells so good. It just smells really good. All right. So there's that. Enough with the smelling. I just saw Jen Balance Tarot do a walkthrough of this next deck, and I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this has not made it into my life yet. I went right on over to Amazon and pushed buy that with one click, and I did. And that is The Dreaming Way. So that made its way to me this week, and I'm really liking that. This next one is going to be a treasured deck. This is an indie deck that came to me this week. It was a long time in coming, but so worth the wait. And this is the Naked Heart Tarot. I believe this is the 3rd edition. I also got a really cool pin, and I can't see it right this second, but I will go through and show a couple of these cards. Now, I was talking to somebody this week, and I said that this deck reminds me of the Wild Unknown on steroids. So, I have not even begun working with this yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'm trying to think about, like, I mean, I do feel like it's the Wild Unknown on steroids, but it's definitely a different vibe. And I'm really, really digging it. I'm really liking it a lot. So, yeah. Oh, and I was going to do a walkthrough of it. You know, I sit here and I think, should I do a walkthrough? Shouldn't I do a walkthrough? There are many walkthroughs. Lisa from Supportive Tarot just did a comparison video for the, I think it's the second and third editions. I will go ahead and link that below, as well as Jen from Balanced Tarots. I will link her video for the walkthrough of The Dreaming Way. And then, last but not least, this little box of beautiful came. This is a Whisper in the Ear Oracle by Sean Weston, who is from the UK. I did a walkthrough of this, which I will link as well. This has turned, this was my card for today. This has turned into my favorite Oracle deck of late. I love the coloring. I love the artwork. The messages are wonderful. Yeah. So, oops, that's a blank one that he puts in there. This one makes me laugh. In a china shop. Bull. Look at that phoenix. Yeah, so I'm just really, really liking using this a lot. Okay, so that is it for decks and such. Now, I was watching somebody's wrap up and they mentioned television. So, Mr. Honey and I cut our cable cord this month. Cable was one of the things that I just really complained about, because I feel like we meaning Mr. Honey and I, paid so much for cable and watched like 3 stations. So, we were out for dinner on Father's Day with our kids, and our son-in-law to be said that he has Hulu Live. So I have Hulu Prime, looked into Hulu Live, thought, yeah, let's try it. So we did, and we're loving it. It has just like everything that we need. Yeah, we're really liking that. But that said, I don't watch a lot of television. I'm not a big movie watcher on TV. I can't sit still long enough. I do sometimes watch series, but there's nothing right now that I'm really interested in. It's kind of like I've watched all the series I want to watch. So, and I've also been practicing a lot with silence and quiet and just being here with myself, and it's okay. But that said, I have been listening to podcasts. So about, oh gosh, like 5 years ago, my best friend in the whole wide world, her name's Mary, said, do you listen to podcasts? And I was like, no, I don't have time to listen to podcasts, And last year, when I was moving into this house, my younger daughter and my older daughter both started talking to me about podcasts, and in particular, true crime podcasts. Okay. So they got me listening to 2 true crime podcasts. One is called Crime Junkie, and one is called True Crime Obsessed. I love them both. And I have also started listening to a few serial true crime podcasts that are done extremely well. One is Josh Hallmark. He has a true crime podcast called True Crime Bullshit, which is he kind of unravels the case of Israel Keys. And then I started listening to a couple of CBC podcasts, one called Someone Knows Something, which, there's 3 CBC podcasts. One is called Someone Knows Something, where each season they take a different case and look at it. The second one is Uncover, which was really good. They also dive into some true crime cases. The first season, I think it was, they looked at the Nexium cult, and that was really interesting and eye-opening. And then the third podcast is a podcast called Finding Cleo, which was eye-opening and heartbreaking, and talks about in the 60s in Canada there was a horrific thing that the government did called the 60s scoop, where they scooped up Indigenous children and placed them for adoption. And this case talks about one family and how they were scattered to the wind and how they're looking for their lost sister named Cleo. So that is, they're all extremely well done, and I really enjoy them. Other than true crime, I listen to Zen podcasts, and if anyone's interested in those, I'm glad to let you know about those as well. One I listen to is called Against the Stream, and the other one, can't remember, it's Domio Burke's podcast. Let me see if I can find it here real quickly. It's Zen Studies Podcast, it's called. Yeah. Yeah, for anybody in the LGBTQ community, Slate has a really good podcast called Outward. So, yeah. All right, so enough about podcasts. Books, on to books. So I've been reading a lot of Zen books, which I won't go into, but I did find time to read a novel, and the novel is called, it's so good, called The Witches of New York. It is by, I have to close it, hold on. It is by Amy, A-M-I, McKay, M-C-K-A-Y. And let me see if I can get it onto my phone to where you can, see there you go. Can you see? There you go. So I read that, and I'm currently reading, I love historical fiction, and in particular, I love historical fiction about England. So anything having to do with the Tudors or Wars of the Roses. There was a trilogy that I read last summer by Elizabeth Chadwick called, it was about Elizabeth of Aquitaine. But I've been over the years reading Philippa Gregory's work. She has a very, very intelligent woman. She holds a doctorate, I believe, in either British history or history. She has written scads of books on British history. The series, the Tudor series and the series from the Wars of the Roses are two that she has written from the point of view of the woman, which I mean is just astounding because there's not a whole lot of information on women because they were property. So she's written from the point of view of the women, and it's very, it's historical fiction. It's considered fiction, but it's very factual. The historical events going around are factual. Certainly the conversations between people cannot be, as you could imagine. But I'm reading one now called Three Sisters, Three Queens. And I think that is the last in the Tudor series. I'm not sure. But, okay, so that's books. And then life. We are getting ready for a wedding, and today is Friday, so we are 15 days away. Our daughter's getting married on the 20th of July, and we're very, very excited for her. And our whole family's coming in for it, so that is excited. And when I say our whole family, I mean our children. So I'll have all 4 of my children in one place at one time for the first time in literally over 10 years. So that's exciting. Yeah. So that is what I'm doing in July. But so June went by really quickly. Oh, we've been doing a lot of yard work. So really that's my catch up for June. And I hope you don't mind the life events being thrown in there along with the tarot. Hopefully next month I'll have some really juicy stuff for you as far as like my daily pulls, like what that's been like, because I plan to do that every day. And so that is what I have to say today. I am watching all of your June wrap-ups and following what you're up to too, and I'll be commenting as I can. But until then, until I see you again, take care everyone and have a great weekend. Bye.